right, today we're going to go back and we are going to practice what we learned in our last lesson on data sets. We're going to practice solving for four things: the mean, median, mode, and range of a data set. And these things, if you remember, are tools or numbers or ways that we can look at really large sets of data to try to construct some meaning around what the data means. Okay, so it doesn't just become a bunch of numbers on a page. We can take some of this idea, and sometimes these are really, really useful. Okay. If you didn't yesterday, write down this chart. Make sure that you do. It's really important that you have this as a little cheat sheet so you can remember the difference between them. You can use this whenever you calculate anything. So the first row, remember, shows you what it is. We have the mean, or it's also called the average. So you might see both terms. We have the median, the middle number, the mode, the number that happens the most, and the range, which is the difference between the biggest and smallest number. So that middle column tells you what it is. And the right column over here tells you how to solve it. So it's important that you pause the video if you have not done this and get this down. Okay, so let's go through just one data set together today. Okay, so you can get a calculator because you're going to need a calculator for some of these. And so this is kind of how this is going to work. You can pull up a calculator on Google like you learned yesterday, and we will start to solve these. All right, so I'm first going to make this just a little bit smaller on my page because I need some workspace. So I'm just going to kind of shrink this down a little bit. So it looks like our data set we're dealing with is talking about some spelling test scores. So how kids did on a certain spelling test. Okay, so I'm just going to go right down the line. I'm going to start by solving the mean. Remember, the mean is the central point of the data. It tells us basically how did that whole group do as a whole. There's going to be people that are higher. There's going to be people that are lower. But it tells someone like a teacher, like Mr. Marty, it'll tell me, okay, how did we do on average as a class, right? Did we do a pretty good job overall, kind of the central point of it? And for this is the one that probably takes the longest because you have to add up all the numbers and then divide by how many numbers you have. So in this case, I see that Josh had 9. So on my calculator, I would take 9 plus 10 plus 6 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4. I'm going to add all of these numbers up together. All right, so 9 plus 10 is 19. I could do it just on paper in my head too. You can certainly use a calculator. 19 plus 6 is 19 plus 6 is 25. 25 plus 4 is 29. 29 plus 8 is 37. 37 plus 4 is 41. So I get this total of 41. I added all those numbers up. Then my second step is to divide that number by how many numbers we have. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So I would take 41 divided by 6. This is where a calculator comes in really, really handy. So if you got one on your phone, if you got one on the computer, or if you just have one laying around the house, it is really, really helpful. So let me open up my own phone here. 41 divided by 6 gets me this big, long number of 66.83333, and it's going to go on forever and ever and ever. I can put that symbol that means going on forever. Now, I don't have to write every single one of those in my answer. I just have to write a couple of them. So I know that it's 6.83. All right. Boom. I found my mean. I found my average. There's my first tool, my first thing I'm going to do. So overall, if this was a spelling test that had 10 points, we as a class, the central point was about the class got about a 6.8 or almost 7. So I could be pretty happy with that, right? 7 out of 10 isn't too bad. Next, we have the median. And the median is what number is in the middle. And so for this one, we have to line these numbers up in order from smallest to biggest. All right, so I'm going to kind of cross them off as I go. We have a 4. We have another 4. We have a 6. We have an 8. We have a 9. And we have a 10. So I line those numbers up in order. Now, this is really helpful for both the median and the mode. All right, the mode is the number that happened the most. So this, I can look all the way across my numbers and see what number happened the most. I see I have one of every number except for 4s. So I'm going to easily fill in the mode here. The mode is 4. That 4 was the number that happened the most amount of times. The median now, we go from the top to the bottom, and we cross off a number in the front and a number in the back until we get to the middle. So I cross off the 4, cross off the 10, cross off another 4, cross off the 9. And now you notice I have an even number. So that means that I can't cross off the 6 and the 8, because if I did that, I wouldn't have a median number. So if I get down and there are 2 numbers in the middle, then what I do is I add those together. 6 plus 8, that equals 14. And then I've hit 14 divided by 2. All right, 14 divided by 2 is 7, meaning that our median is 7. Sometimes you just get the median from crossing off. Sometimes you get 2 numbers in the middle, and you have to do that. So I could do that one easily in my head, but feel free to use a calculator as well. All right, we have found the median. We've found the mode. We've found the mean or average. The last thing we have to do is we have to find the range. And to find the range is the biggest, or how much difference is there between the biggest number and the smallest number. What's the range of the numbers? Okay, so our biggest number is 10. You can see that right there. Our smallest number is 4. So I take the biggest number, subtract it from the smallest number. It's going to tell us how many numbers are in between the smallest and the biggest. Well, 10 minus 6 is 4. So our range is 6. Our numbers can go kind of in a range of 6 from 4 up into 10. And then I have my 4 different scores, my 4 different data points, numbers that could help me look as a teacher or at someone who cares about this information about their scores to tell us a little bit more. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to do a few of these today. You're going to get some data sets, and you're going to calculate the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. If you need to remember what any of those are, look at your chart or come back and watch this video again and watch me work through different sections. All right, everyone, good luck, and I will see you tomorrow.